Welcome to Work the Left Side. I am joined by Big Daddy Unicorn, Mr. Jason. I can't even speak. Sorry, dude. It's just I'm heat stroke. Mr. Jason Joshua. How are we doing, dude? You good?
I am good. I am too warm. I'm a bulky boy, and this time of year is not my friend.
No, no. I totally relate. Definitely more of a just let me chill out in the cold. I can always put more layers on if needs be. I'm not a heat kind of guy, unfortunately. So I'm right there with you. So, but yeah. So obviously, we talked about this a while ago. Been waiting to get you on the show, dude. Just happy to have you here. Obviously, big you up and talk about the awesomeness. As I said, that is Big Daddy Unicorn. So, what's going on? Got anything exciting coming up that we want to talk about straight away?
Uh, my next 6 weeks is looking pretty busy. I'm not sure when this comes out, but this weekend I've got. So I wrestle a lot for Win Wrestling, and they sort of do. They have like a sister show, which is still Win, but it's sort of led by one of the other guys that works for them, and it's one of his shows. So it's like a branch off that they're trying to grow. So I've got that this weekend. I'm in a 5 Wrestlers of Doom match because the show is called Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect.
I've heard that somewhere before. I'm sure.
Yeah, if you find the poster, it's a bunch of wrestlers just sort of photoshopped onto John Cena's body. So that's gone well. I'm just double checking what I've got before I big up the wrong things. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm sort of all over the place. I've got APW in Telford. They run monthly shows. They fill their venue every month. The thing that makes me kind of sad about them is they fill it, but they don't really get to expand. I don't think enough people know about them, and they've got a lot of good guys there, and it'd be cool if more eyes were on it. I'm literally just going through the list of what I've got. I've got Full Force Wrestling coming up in a couple of weeks. They're getting back to Redditch, which they haven't done very often. Full Force is my main training school as well, so I always like being there with them because it's the main lad that trains me, his company, the people I train with, and it's a new venue. I've got some really fun Pride shows coming up because I've got True Grit, which is going to be a debut for me, and I'm debuting there. My match hasn't been announced yet, but I know it's a fun one. So there's that. I'm returning to WAW for their yearly Pride show, which again is always a fun one. I've got Future, which is normally sitting in Ashfield, but they started to expand recently. So I'm on their Sheffield show, and Phenomenal Elite Wrestling, and that's all in the next month. I've sort of done everything with Phenomenal, so it's all places where I love to be. So I'm really glad that I get to sort of sit here and go, look, I'm in all these great places. And
that's why I wanted to just do that straight away, because that kind of sets the tone, because that's kind of like, mate, all of those promotions, they all offer something amazing. Like sort of said, APW needs more eyes on it, what they're doing. I try and follow them on socials as much as possible, just to kind of keep what they're doing. Obviously, Future, I've spoken to loads of guys from FUTR recently. They're amazing. Obviously, Win, there's 2 Win promotions out there, both of them absolutely smashing it. And you mentioned True Grit, which I'm always going to big up because we sponsor them. So I'll touch on that first. Really, you're looking forward to that?
Them, I'm excited. It's a chance to sort of. I'm very Midlands based because I've struggled with travel a lot over the years. So I'm literally like smack in the middle because I'm just outside Leicester. So it's kind of easy to get to everywhere because you could just whichever direction you go, it leads somewhere. But I've struggled with travel, and as my travel's got better, it means more doors are opening, and I want more doors to keep opening because I want to keep doing it. And True Grit's a 2-hour drive, and so it's like, and WAW is quite far as well. It's about 2.5, but at the far end of WAW, my dad's there, so it sort of gives me something. Whereas True Grit is 2 hours, and it's stepping outside the comfort again. So I get the challenge, and then I get to do this amazing show. So it's a nice little, like.
Hopefully it'll be more than worth it, dude, when you get up here. Obviously, I'm based in Leeds, so I'm a Midlands boy at heart, but I now live in Leeds, so I've kind of been, surrounded by Yorkshire folk. But yeah, True Grit, mate, when you get up here, it's at left bank as well, so you'll get to see the venue. Anyone you speak to who's wrestled there, I'm pretty certain will do nothing but big up, the place, the venue, just the atmosphere. Not being biased. Yeah, True Grit fans are pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I messaged them a while ago. I wrestled Priscilla at Kumite, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I got slapped, I think counting back 34 times. And afterwards we sat and spoke about some stuff, and they mentioned True Grit to me, and then I messaged True Grit and said I'd really like to show you some of my stuff, and they mentioned that Priscilla had already mentioned me, and then they said, we'll let you know when something comes up. And you hear that from promoters, and you just kind of go, all right. And then they messaged me and went, something's come up, would love you to be part of this show. I was like, okay, sick. And it happens next month.
Moment. Genuine fist bump moment. But yeah, that match jumped out at me. Obviously, before talking, I've been looking through, like promotions you've worked for, matches you've had, people you've been up against. And yeah, Priscilla at Kumite kind of popped. I was just like, that's not a match I expected to see at Kumite. But knowing Priscilla, I've spoken to Priscilla before, I've had him on the show, an awesome human being. And part of me was like, wasn't expecting to see that match, but I would love to have seen it.
I loved it. Priscilla is someone that I saw fairly early on when I started, and I had a really big issue with myself being queer in wrestling. So I was going to start when I was 18, and I completely bailed on it because I went, when they find out it's going to be an issue, this, that, the other. No one had ever said anything. It was completely in my own head. And then I'm going to get back to my point, I promise. I saw Visage on a poster in Leicester, and they are a very openly queer person. And I saw them on the poster and went, that's a queer person on a wrestling show. And then my partner introduced me to his friend that happened to teach wrestling, TJ Sky, and I went from there. And it's because I saw Visage on the poster and went, oh my god, we can. And then as I get into wrestling and I'm starting to wrestle a bit, I discover Priscilla, and we chatted, and all they ever did was offer me advice and big me up. And we kept saying, yes, we're going to get this match. Yes, we're going to get this match. And then the Kumite promoters found out how much I wanted this match. And they literally messaged me and went, oh yeah, by the way, we're bringing Priscilla in. We're not going to announce them, but we're going to tell you it's an open challenge, have fun. And I turned up at Kumite, and they literally went, just go out there, have fun, be you. And we got to have this really fun match where I got slapped to the absolute ends of the earth. I got their face print on my crotch because of a move I do, but it left the lipstick, the eyeliner just on my white gear. And it was so much fun working with them and being able to work with one of them people that like Visage that I saw and went, oh my god, you can be what you want to be in wrestling. Which again, no straight person in wrestling has ever turned around to me and gone, "Hey, you can't be here." It was completely in my head. But then when you get to see them people that are very openly queer, gay, bi, trans, non-binary, and you get to go, "Oh my god, that's someone that's like me." Like, I don't think people like Priscilla and Visage. There's other people as well, but like, I don't think they'll ever realize the effect they had on my wrestling. I wrestle a completely different style to them because I'm 5'8" and built like a boulder. But the effect they've had on my career, where I've gone, oh my god, they're here, and then we get to go to WAW Pride shows and True Grit, and then TNT have done Gay Brunch, and just I'm trying to stick to the other ones now, and I'm drawing blanks. But like all these places that are like, let's celebrate it, is just amazing.
It's as it should be, but yeah, I get, because it's still, you hear horror stories, from not so much over here, but any wrestling fan obviously kind of grew up watching, like WWE, WWF, TNA, all those kind of things, and it was a big stigmata. You'd hear nightmare stories about people being hazed or picked on, or just people being idiots, and it must have been enough to make you second guess yourself, which sucks. But thankfully, you kind of, you are where you are now.
Yeah, as soon as I got into wrestling, because I didn't start wrestling until I was 23, and as soon as I started, it was just the regret of, I could have done this 5-6 years ago. No one cares. No one has ever turned around to me and gone, I've got an issue with you being this, I've got an issue with you. It was just something completely in my head. But then because of people like I mentioned, like Visage, Priscilla, people like that, and then more people coming through, Benjamin Harland, Tony Wright, Effie, all being open and queer, and like, it's great because you get to see something that you see yourself in. And yeah, I somehow made it into, I regret starting so late because
But
I
at least
missed
started,
out on time.
Could have been worse. You could never have started in the first place.
That's true, and it would have been a massive regret because I love wrestling.
Exactly. So, like you said, you don't have to wrestle the same as Priscilla to acknowledge the awesomeness. It's not about emulating them, their style. It's just about emulating the confidence to get in the ring and be who you want to be.
Yeah, and I'm just repeating, like, Priscilla and Versailles. Like, there's so many people that have had an effect, but seeing them two as wrestlers was literally the point where I was like, oh my god, queer wrestling,
Open the door.
wrestlers.
They basically open the door for you, and the penny drops. And
told them both. I have told them both, and I don't think either of them realise like the effect they've had on people, not just me, like people.
Like you said, the list is ever good. Like, the fact that so many promotions can put on, like these Pride shows, and the show is just full of amazing talent, and no single person is the same as anybody else. It's just like anything else, everybody's unique. Everybody brings something different to the table. You've got your style, they've got their style, and it makes for an awesome show. I'm genuinely looking forward to the True Grit one, because there's brand new belt on the line. The card looks stacked. There's obviously, you're going to be there. Tony Wright, previously mentioned, is going to be there.
I've just seen they announced Ali Catch and Visage, so like that's going to be mint. I can't wait for them to announce my match. I'm not going to say no. I don't want to get in trouble before I've debuted for them, but I'm looking forward to it.
I can't. Yeah, I don't want to be the one that kind of gets you in trouble either, because I should know better. So I'll be like, right, no, we'll just. But I will say, as soon as they announce it, I'll be all over it, and I'll get it all over the socials. I'll be sharing it, commenting on it, and everything like that as well, dude. So we'll get it hyped up to the maximum. But again, looking feedback at things that you've done. I tweeted this earlier just because any reason to bring up his name. RJ Singh, you had a title shot against the DDT king himself. I'm always curious as to when people get into the ring with, I'll call him, I don't think he'll take it as an offense, but a veteran, somebody who's been around, who knows the business, somebody whose brain you can pick. How did you find that?
He was just easy to work with. He was double booked, so we were on first. We didn't have a great deal of time. He was able to put the match together very quickly. I think we worked quite well together. He was easy to talk to, easy to communicate with. Gave really nice feedback, gave solid feedback. He didn't just do that thing where it was, oh yeah, good job. Like, he gave me feedback. He was really fun to work with. He lets you do your own thing. Like, I'd happily wrestle him any day of the week.
That's always the key thing for me, is like the feedback. If you get a chance to get some feedback from people, how you take it, you kind of, because obviously you'll only improve, when people kind of point out this, that, or the other. It just helps you improve to doing what you do. And people like that, and Martin Kirby, I think if you can get feedback from them, that's priceless.
Yeah, I've been very lucky to work Kirby a couple of times now, and he's on Phenomenal Elite Wrestling a lot of the time when I am. So even Saturday just gone, he was giving feedback and helping out, and it's just to have people like that about, where they sit and watch and go, yeah, this was good, but you can do this and this helps, and like, it's just good to have about, isn't it? Like,
I think there's no downside to it, dude. It's only going to help you get better, kind of thing. And if you take some of it on board, awesome. If you take all of it on board, it's fine. Not everything that they suggest is going to work, but if you can find bits and bobs here and there, it helps. So talking about taking feedback and training and things like that as well. Obviously, looking through all the information I could find, Joseph Connors and Ty, two people listed as being trainers. Obviously, you mentioned Ty earlier, not Ty, so TJ, and Joe Connors is another good name to learn from.
Yeah. So when I initially started training in Coventry, I started with TJ Sky and Psycho Steve, and TJ's always been a part of my training in some way, shape, or form over the last 7 years. He's one of my closest friends, and then when it didn't really come back after lockdown, that training school, TJ's still been about, and then I started training with Joey Scott and the Full Force, and then I've trained with Joe Connors at Elevation, sort of on and off over the past 6 years. He's a really good trainer. So is Joey Scott, so is TJ. They all help you elevate the things that you're good at. They help you elevate the things that you struggle with. They all try and take you out of your comfort zone, but without making you feel completely uncomfortable. Like, obviously you're going to be a little bit, it's like your comfort zone. And they will all give you honest feedback. They will all try and improve you to the best they can, and they won't shit on you to do it. Sorry, I don't know if you're allowed to swear.
Oh yeah, dude, no, go for it. It's fine. It's fine.
So they've always all been supportive. I mentioned earlier I get quite bad anxiety. They've all been understanding of that, because it can get in the way of training, because I will bail. Less so now, but I would disappear for weeks at a time, and I'd get messages, and they've always checked in on me, and like, I think I've been incredibly lucky with the people I've been training with. I pop down to New Wave every now and then now, so I get to train with Gav, Flash, Morgan Webster, and he is another one that is incredibly supportive. I think, see, I'm only naming 4, but I know a lot. There's a lot of very good people training, a lot of very good people now. So
so many like well, I've had this conversation before, kind of thing. I kind of said I don't think you're more than 30 minutes away from a good wrestling school, no matter where you're based, nowadays, kind of thing. I think everybody's kind of spoiled for choice. You just mentioned 4 people there, just like quite quickly, within quite a close proximity to yourself as well.
Yeah. So the furthest one from me is New Wave, and that's just over an hour. Full Force is Leamington Spa. So that's not far from me. TJ he trains out of the Kamikaze unit in Birmingham now. And Elevation is, I can't remember where they've moved to, but they've got their own unit now, and I can't remember what town it's in. But it's a really nice unit, and I don't get down there enough because I haven't even got a good excuse. It's a great unit with great trainers, and I should be down there more often.
Dude, life, sometimes it happens. There's nothing you can do about it. Like I said, you'll. But yeah, I was going to say Nottingham, but it's not Nottingham. It's House of Pain, but I know it's within close proximity because obviously it's kind of like they're very closely knitted. Obviously, and well, that was another name that popped out at me looking through the stuff. You've been in tag matches with Styx a few times, and if Joseph Connors is one of your trainers, then Styx must be like granddaddy trainer, basically.
Styx has always been super sound with me, really helpful. I did a 6-man tag with him, and it was just like, wrestling's never easy, but when someone comes along and sort of makes sense and makes it run so smoothly, like Styx is very good at that. When it's anything in wrestling can be hard work, but when you've got 6 people like holding it all together, someone like that, and then in that match there was me, there was him, there was Adam Bolt, there was
and Serico was in there, wasn't he?
Brady Phillips and Riley Nova. And it was fun to work with all of them. And yeah, bunch of really easy people to work with.
I think all 6 of those guys, anybody who knows anything will know. Yeah, obviously we're Serico's, a friend of the show. We love Wes. Obviously Styx, there's few better. Adam Bolt, he's amazing as well. Never had the pleasure of talking to Mr. Nova yet, but yeah, everybody else you've mentioned.
He's annoyingly good.
One of those people it just comes easy to.
Yeah, recently took a belt off me, so I don't really want to praise him. He's been mean to me on a couple of shows, but like, you can't argue the fact that he's damn good at what he does. Like, yeah, and then you've got Brady Phillips, who's just freak athlete. It's just
what he's done in these last couple of years. He's kind of gone and just become, he could main event any show for any promotion anywhere in the country. He's become one of those guys.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously we get to see him at True Grit all the time doing his little dance.
Yeah,
like, dude.
Like, I could list so many people that I think are great and would be all night, because like when you mention them, because it's like House of Pain, you end up talking about Ivy, who's amazing, and ZZ, who's amazing. Then there's the other end of things where, like, the training school I come from, we've got people like Joey Scott, who is incredible, TJ Sky, who's incredible, and I think they're both starting to get a bit more recognition now. And then, like, I get to be around someone like the Judge all the time, who has been around forever, and is just like solid advice. I'm around CJ Rollins more and more, and he's annoyingly good. And then the people that are coming out of all the schools at the minute, Elevation's got so many great people, New Wave's got so many great people, Full Force has, TJ's training schools, just shooting out these amazing like young people that make me feel old, and they're all doing these amazing things, and you get to watch it all. And like in one aspect, it's like this is amazing. Another, it's like, oh my god, there's more people. But like, there's so many great people about that we could sit here and just go, he's great, she's great, they're great, and like, yeah.
Dude, I know that's the thing. I'm on a mission to try and talk to everyone. It's just crazy. Like what I said, I don't know, 10 years ago, this channel would have probably stopped a year ago, and I would have spoken to everybody, and I'd have completed British wrestling kind of thing. But today, I'm probably not even like 10% through all the amazing people out there, kind of thing. It's ridiculous. But again, I think that kind of ties back to what we was talking about, how great some of the schools are. If you're getting like 10 amazing people from each school, dude, that's over 100 people just out there absolutely smashing it, and promoters must just be loving it, because they just got they can just pick anyone they want, and they know they're getting talent.
Like there's so many great people in the UK, and it just sounds like I'm like listing random people off, because there's so many people I could list off. It's like
but we are here to big you up, sir. So obviously everybody else is awesome. We love everybody else as well. But I got you on here to talk about you and to say how awesome you are, and just to the things that you've done, promotions you've worked for. Obviously, we talked about some promotions. I want to shout out Sacrifice as well. You've done, you've worked for Sacrifice. That's always a promotion I like to shout out because of the charity work they do. But that's a bit down south as well. That was way down. Well, it's quite down south for you. That must have been. You're talking about it earlier, with the traveling and stuff.
Yeah. So Sacrifice is about an hour and 15 for me, which was a limiting thing to start with, but it's gotten easier. I do wish I could be there more. It hasn't lined up properly, unfortunately. But yeah, every show is a charity show, and they always sort of verify what they've done as well. So they always go, this is what we've donated, it's here. And yeah, they literally run monthly charity shows. Like,
I thought it was further south for you. I don't know why I had it in my head that it was going to be like 2 or 3 hours for you. I always kind of think it's further down than it is. I don't know. I just kind of think of it as being London. Like anything below Nottingham for me, or that area is London.
Milton Keynes.
Okay, yeah. So it's
great. Try not to think about it, because if I think about it, I panic about the travel.
Yeah, to be fair, dude, it's the blind leading the blind here. I've got no idea with that kind of stuff. And I'm the same. I'm not a massive. I don't like I know where I am. I'm at home, but I work from home. I venture out the house a couple of times a week. That's it. So, another future though, FUTR. That is a promotion. I saw it popping up, on your timeline, a lot. You seem to be doing a lot of cool stuff there.
I love Future. So I went down to Future just a couple of random times. One of my friends kept inviting me. And I started there in a pre-show battle royal, where I was the second person eliminated. Not long after I started wrestling. And then I just kept showing my face, and the promoter, I don't know if he's not big on people talking about him, but the promoter is Kingsley, and his partner Nick, and they've both been such supportive people, not just at Future, just in my life in general. Nick's incredible. She's sort of the front of house for it, and then Kingsley sort of does more of the dealing with the wrestlers, although they both do bits and bobs of everything. And they literally turned around to me and went, "Oh, you help promote the show so much," because just sharing social media posts, they went, "What are you doing in October?" A couple of years ago now. And I was like, "Oh, I'm free." And they're like, "Awesome." And then since then I've been there. And then they trusted me with the belt, which I won on my birthday, which was pretty cool. Where my dad turned up and didn't tell me. So on my 30th birthday, my dad turned up, and then I got to win a belt for a company that I think the absolute world of. And then they do, can't remember what the proper name for it is, but the wages are split equally. So once the venue's paid and everything like that, everyone gets the same cut.
Cool.
Which I think's great because the work that goes in, everyone gets the same out of it. So the more tickets sell, the better we do. So you want to promote it more, and then we all get a fair share. And the Kingsley and Nick make nothing from Future. Once they pay everything that needs to be paid with the sales and stuff, but they make no money. It goes to every wrestler on that card.
Wow. That's awesome as well, because again, you know, I'm on this side of the curtain. I don't begin to know how like the business side of it works or promotional side of it works, but yeah, you kind of hear people have got the prize, they've got this prize or that, or the other. But I love the idea of that, like on a show, you know, if you've used like, you know, 15 people, every single person gets, you know, the same cut, because, you know, you've all put the same. Everybody should have put the same amount of work in. Yeah. And depending on your logic, you know, it doesn't matter where you are on the show. You know, the fans could be coming to see the third match because they really like that person instead of the main event. Just because it's the main event, it doesn't always mean people are going to be there. You know, the opening match isn't a bad thing anymore. You know, that's seen as being the second best match on the card. So it just makes sense for me for everybody to get the same.
The fact that they sort of give everything, that with all the work they put in, they give everything to people. And they'll hate the fact that I'm bigging them up. They'll hate it, but like, and then there's not just that side of it. Like they're both quite a big part of my life outside of wrestling now. Just because you just connect with some people, and then it's just, yeah, they won't like that I've praised them, but literally Future is there to sort of help people get out there.
I mean, I've spoken to a few people recently, you know, that have worked for the promotion. They've had nothing but nice things to sort of say. You know, I've tried to shout out Future a bit more recently, you know, more frequently on socials as well, because of what I'm hearing about them, it just sounds nothing but like, you know, good stuff. Obviously, we had Franco Fate on a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it's just everybody I know who mentions Future. So sorry, I'm kind of adding to the dilemma of, you know, making them feel really, making them blush or uncomfortable. But yeah, what they are doing is working, and everybody seems to be loving it.
Yeah. Franco Fate's another one that I could praise as well. Said you had him on a couple of weeks ago. I got to work him a couple of times at Future. We wrestled for the Future heavyweight belt, and it was so much fun to work with him. And yeah, like you said, he would have said very similar things, because they just sort of give you the opportunity to sort of try stuff. I wrestled under a mask for them for 8 months because we wanted to see what I could do, try and sort of push the character a bit more. And it was a laugh. And I had a giant Rey Mysterio sort of knockoff mask with a unicorn horn on it, because they wanted to try and help me. I struggle with that side of it, and they're like, let's give this a go. If nothing else, it'll be a laugh. And I got to do that for, I think it was 8 months.
How do you find it? You know, because some people kind of, you know, they either love wearing the mask or they hate wearing the mask, but some people find it really liberating, and, you know, kind of like, because nobody can see your face, you know, you kind of you've got a little bit more freedom. I think, you know, it's a mindset.
Hated it. I've got so much respect for anyone that wrestles in a mask consistently. I was doing it once a month for 8 months, and it was horrible. It's warm, it limits vision, it's harder to move about. You're constantly, even when it fits right, you're constantly doing this. It takes one sort of forearm to catch you slightly high and it moves. Like, so much respect for anyone that wears a mask, whether they do it like partly at one place, whether they do it full time. Like, I don't know how people in Mexico do it with that heat. Like, all the respect in the world for anyone that wears a mask, wore a mask, will wear a mask, because as much as I love the opportunity to do this sort of sillier gimmick and have fun and sort of relax, I hated it. Just the mask part of it. It was, I'd go backstage every time, take the mask off and be like, oh my God. Oh, but yeah, it was just, also, I've got a fat head. So, like, finding something that fit my head properly as well was such hard work. And then I've got limited vision as it is. And then I would lose my peripheral and it'd be like, oh my God. No,
No.
no. All the respect in the world for anyone that wrestles in a mask. Genuinely.
Get me in like a freaking, something versus mask match. Please let me lose. Take the mask, burn it, get rid of it. Yeah. It's gone.
I gave that mask away, and they think I gave it to a wrestler's little brother, and they were like, "Oh my God, this is so thoughtful. This is so lovely." I gave it away so I don't have to wear it again.
Good deeds, man. Good deeds. Like, so, it benefited you and it benefited them, because I'm sure it made them, it would have made their day as well anyway. So, two good turns.
He's got that. It's his. He can do what he wants with it. Just don't give it back to me. Never doing it again.
Keep away. That's awesome though. But we were talking about, obviously, we talked about getting into, wrestling, being able to be yourself kind of thing. I'm always kind of intrigued as to how people develop the character when people start wrestling. Do you go into it knowing, like, do you have the character in your head straight away, or do you kind of just go in and it's something that builds itself up over time? Or do you start with something totally random and it kind of just changed, into the Big Daddy Unicorn kind of thing?
So mine went sort of, I was generic wrestler number one. I had red trunks with a little thunderbolt on them. And then I wanted to do something where I was like open about who I am without just calling myself Gay Jason Joshua. So I went by the Unicorn King for a little bit, and I'll be honest, looking back, it was just a bit cringy and didn't really suit me. And then during lockdown, it was just a joke made on Facebook, and someone said it to me. I was like, "Oh, obviously, Big Daddy Unicorn's the way to go." I was like, "Yeah, actually, that works really well." And it's kind of just evolved from there. And then coming back after lockdown, it was just sort of I want to try and enjoy this a bit more. So I was a bit more willing to sort of let myself go and just sort of be a bit more silly. And it seems to have worked, because the last, 2.5, 3 years, I've just like been busy. And I want to be busier, and I'm constantly pushing to be busier. But I can't argue that I think I'm coming up to, I know I'm coming up to 250 matches soon. And I know over 180 of them are since lockdown. Before lockdown, I was wrestling maybe once a month. So I've been incredibly lucky to sort of find my silliness and then have people support that.
That's the thing though as well. I mean, obviously, lockdown sucked. I think it gave some people time to think about stuff and kind of come back a little bit fresh. And you got to be a little bit creative, during that time, because there's nothing else to do, kind of thing. So, and like I said, I think kind of the momentum's on your side now. It's kind of, you've got that snowball effect, where it's just building and building and building. You get, the bookings are coming in now. More and more promotions are becoming aware of the awesomeness. And yeah, I just think it's just a massive snowball, dude. That's just going very fast downhill.
I'm hoping so. I really I really love wrestling, and it's something that I want to do, and I want to keep growing and developing, because I'm aware of how much I've improved. You can ask people when I first started, like, I'm not naturally athletic. I'm not, like, I've always been a chunky lad, but I've sort of learned how to use that more. And I've listened to a lot of good people, but I'm not where I want to be. I want to be on more shows. I want to be a better wrestler. I want to be a better talker. And that only happens when you do more. And I let anxiety get in the way of a lot of it. I'm sort of trying to let go of that anxiety and do more. And I just, yeah, I don't know how to explain it without sounding really like silly, but like I love wrestling so much.
Dude, no, there's
just,
nothing silly about it. You know, at the end of the day, I'm talking to you because I love wrestling. You do what you do because you love wrestling so much. You actually wanted to do it. You know, so you technically you love it more than I do because I never made that commitment as much as I love it. People watching this obviously love wrestling, so just that is like a common bond in itself. And you know, the anxiety thing. You know, dude, I've been there. I still am there. You know, everybody's got their own different ways of, doing things and, talking about it. You've got to find that thing that makes you happy. You've got to find that balance, and what you've achieved over these last couple of years, shows to me and hopefully, shows to anybody watching, everything you're doing is working. You're making the right steps. You're doing the right things. And you're not even halfway through the journey, dude. So, huge positives, and the trajectory is going that way, not that way. So that's huge.
So thank you. I do appreciate the nice words. I am going to say, for anyone that is listening, I am a 30-year-old man that at 18 years old couldn't leave the house. Like legitimately couldn't leave my house unless I was literally dragged out by my mum. She would have to drag me out of the house. I would be kicking and screaming. I couldn't leave the house. I was closeted. I was scared. I was at 18. I thought I'd be dead by 25. And then I found my incredible partner. That was just from the get-go was this just incredible human that went, you can do this, we're going to do this. To this day, 7 years into wrestling, comes to nearly every show with me because I struggle to travel on my own. When I'm wrestling it, like at least one show a weekend, he gives up his time to help promote my time. And the reason I'm mentioning that, I was 18 and I was stuck, and now I'm 30 and I'm doing this thing that I love, that, yeah, I still struggle, but I found this incredible person that led me to more incredible people. And these people have helped me achieve things that I never thought. I was aiming for one wrestling match. So if someone listens to this and goes, should I give wrestling a try? Screw it, not even wrestling. Should I give this thing I want to do a try? Give it a try. Because the person that's sat in my living room currently is the person that saved my life. And then wrestling helped me keep going. So go for it. You don't know what you'll find. You might start that one thing and discover another that leads you to the thing you want to do. Like, I can go on and on about incredible people. I can go on and on about myself, but I just want people to do well, because I've been in that space where it was like, shit's not going to happen, but it's because I wasn't doing anything about it. So there you go.
It's not always, yeah. It's like it's hard though, because you kind of put it on yourself to do something about it. But you're your own worst enemy. Again, I've been there. I've been, to the lows, and it's a catch-22 situation where you're getting mad at yourself for how you're feeling, then you get mad at yourself for getting mad at yourself, and you get stuck in this loop.
Yeah.
And yeah, it takes that one person. Amazing that you've got somebody. You found that person that breaks the loop. Because if you left to your own devices, dude, you're stuck in that loop. You're mad at yourself for being mad at yourself for being mad at yourself, and it just never ends. So yeah,
I'm telling people, just go for it. You want to ask that person out, the worst they can say is no. You want to try that hobby, the worst you could do is do the free session and then go, this ain't for me. But you know what they might say? They might say yes. You might find out that you're a natural wrestler, you're a natural weightlifter, you're a natural runner. Like, just go. I waited till I was 23 to be a wrestler, and now it controls my entire life. Like, go for it, do it.
The thing is, like, you don't even, obviously not for you because you're awesome at it, but you can go try these things, and you don't have to be the best person there. You don't have to be, you know, top of the class. You don't even have to be really good at it. You know, as long as you enjoy doing it, you know, if it gives you that moment, if it gives you that happiness, gosh, you know, that's it.
Yeah, in the politest way, screw everyone else. Like, just do it. Just give it a shot.
Yep.
The worst thing you're going to do is discover it's not for you.
I second, I third, I fourth, I fifth that sentence. You know, don't second guess it. Go do it. If you like it, awesome. If you don't, try something else. But the more you try stuff, the more confident you'll get, hopefully, or, you know, you'll meet somebody that gives you that confidence. Like you said, you know, the amount of awesome people you've met through wrestling, you know, that speaks volumes, and that is, you know, gratification for what you've done. That validates, you know, that decision years ago to do it. You know, you can definitely look back and be like, that was the right thing to do, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm going to need a new hip by the time I'm 40, but I'm going to have fun getting there.
That's it. Yeah. Well, you know, no pain, no gain kind of thing. Unfortunately, you know, hopefully the pros definitely outweigh the cons. You know, you might get like it might be your singing and dancing hips at that point. You might get one that's I don't know, like
on my phone.
Yeah, that's dude. Yeah, you just tap your hip, mate. You just talk. You know, it's got a built-in phone in it or something.
We'll see. Yeah. There we go. There's my positive stuff for the day. Just do it.
Yeah, no, I welcome all that. Like I said, you know, I think people, and again, you know, we touched on it earlier about, you know, the amount of amazing people in wrestling, you know, that you've gotten to know. Obviously, you've been around for like about 7 years.
Yeah.
You started just pre-Global Bastard, and then you came back afterwards. And again, speaking to people, it seems to be everything's a lot more positive now. These last couple of years, you know, somebody's turned up the positive switch, and pre what it was, you know, and everybody just seems like really more. Everybody wants to help somebody. It's like everybody lost this thing that they love. Now we've got it back. Like, fuck it, let's just make sure it works and make sure everybody's doing the best they can.
Yeah, let's make it the best thing we can make it. So,
and that's got to be a good thing for you guys to be, you know, for everybody to be involved in, because you especially, you know, if you was nervous about it, you know, now you're around this really positive energy, and just people being nice.
Yeah, it's like on a personal level, it does me a lot of good, and it's the thing I look forward to, because I know I'm going to be around like good people, and it makes me feel better. And yeah, there's always going to be that thing where some days you walk away and go, oh, I was crap. But then there's going to be one where you walk away and you go, oh shit, I did good there. So like, yeah, there's going to be dips, there's going to be highs, but like, you get that with everything. So,
of course you do. Nothing's perfect. You're never gonna have, you know, a great match every single time. Something's just gonna go wrong at some point. It's just what you do when it happens. You know, you learn from it and you crack on. You're like, right, okay, that won't happen again. I'll make sure of it.
Yeah, and you just sort of keep going. So I'm just staring at my other half in the garden.
That's right.
I think he's trying to eavesdrop.
You're just saying really nice things. It's like, his ears must have been burning. He was like that.
His ears burning.
Either that or shoulders out in the sun. Something's burning. It's but yeah, we talked win, talked future, talked, like I say, you got True Grit coming up, but kind of so going back to the character, like I said, you've got the Big Daddy Unicorn thing going on. How do you? So you said yourself, you want to be able to talk about new promos and things like that. Is that something you're working on? Is the Big Daddy Unicorn sort of promo style?
The promo side of it I've always struggled with, which is mad because I'm very good at chatting shit. But when I'm sort of in front of a camera, I'm just like wide-eyed and like, oh, where am I? But I am working on it. Hustle Malone's offered me quite a lot of help that admittedly I haven't leaned into enough, because he's just the king of promos. So I am looking to. It's something that I want to improve. I want to improve on all aspects of it because I want to be a better wrestler. I want to be more physically fit because I've always been someone that's struggled with sort of my size and my weight. And then I want to be a better speaker because, like today, I want to be able to speak about the issues I've been through to try and sort of get the stuff out there, which I can do in like this setting, but I want to be able to do it
in a ring
scale and go, I've been there and look where we are now. I'm not the only one that's been there. I'm not the only one that's there. Like, wrestlers struggle with things that normal people struggle with, and they have to push through it to then go out there in basically their underwear and go, let's go.
Look at me. That's it, dude. I mean, that's why it just legitimately, I've got nothing but, respect for every single person who steps into that ring. That's the reason I do this show, is because it's me trying to do something to pick you guys up, for me, to say thank you for everything you do, for us fans, kind of thing. I just think, it just takes a special person to do it, and I think that needs to be acknowledged. But yeah, the promo thing, I think, especially, you'll know this better than I do. In wrestling nowadays, promos are becoming more and more, required kind of thing. People need to start cutting them because of social media and stuff like that, and YouTube. They want to sell matches and shows on social media more now, so it requires people to cut promos, I guess.
Yeah, and it is something I'm slowly doing more of, but it's just one of them things that you're not always comfortable with stuff. And I've said about what's the worst you can do, try. So
again, it blows people's minds that I do this, because I'm the guy that, if you ever met me in real life, I don't say boo to a mouse kind of thing. I just literally, I'm sat in the corner, I keep myself to myself, I'm quiet. So I work from home, I very rarely venture out. It freaks people out that I can do this and I can talk for an hour. Like, I've known you for like 2 years, and you've probably spoken for like 2 hours in 2 years that I've known you. But I get that. So I mean, we talk about this, that's fine. Talk about wrestling, that's fine. But when it comes to opening up, especially in front of an audience or in front of just people in general, yeah, I feel the reservations.
Yeah, it's weird because I've said about how anxious I am, but then when you go out and wrestle, you sort of forget, and it's nice.
It's a contradiction, isn't it? Really, yeah. Cause like you say, you're out there. Like you said before, you're half naked, putting on a show, hundreds of eyes looking at you. It's just like you can turn that switch on and off just temporarily.
Yeah. Just forget about the anxiety for 10 minutes, and it's just people ask why you're doing it. It's like you get to be someone different for a little bit. Like that's big for some people.
Oh God, yeah, of course it's escapism. They want, and it's no offense to their everyday life. It doesn't mean like their everyday life sucks. It just means you can get that freedom of just being somebody else for 10-15 minutes. That's amazing sometimes.
Yeah. It's getting deep, isn't it?
Yeah. But we're trying to keep, sometimes these things need to be said, and it's not you know, it's not a bad thing sometimes. It's just, I think, you know, people appreciate because, you know, again, it makes them think like, oh, I'm not the only one thinking that. No, of course you're not. You know, there's millions of people out there with those kind of things and issues. So never feel alone about it. But yeah, back to the wrestling. Yes, halfway through the year, you know, you said at the start of the episode, you know, you've got these bookings coming in. Dude, I think, you know, yeah, the next 6 months are going to be, I said it before, man, it's a snowball. You're building momentum. I don't think it's going to be one and done at True Grit. I would definitely expect to see you at future True Grit shows. You know, as a sponsor, if I've got any pull, you know, I'll get you on future shows.
And I appreciate that. I do. I just want to sort of keep going. I love the places I'm at, and I owe a lot of them a lot. But I just want to keep growing. I want to get further afield, not just for my wrestling, for my own mental health. Like, I'm 30 and I've never left the country, so that'd be cool. Just one day, like once. Like, I'm an anxious traveller, so the idea of getting on a plane is always shit me up. But like, just the idea of doing it once would be cool, whether wrestling or not wrestling. Like, but wrestling helps me expand where I feel comfortable traveling. So that's when I'm working towards.
What about Ireland to start off with? You know, just get on a boat as opposed to a plane. Start off, you know, slow, but it still ticks the boxes. You know, it's another country.
It's the target is another country. It doesn't matter when or where. It doesn't like, it'd be cool if it was wrestling, but it doesn't really matter if it's wrestling. The goal is to get comfortable enough to do that, because the wrestling's what sort of pushes me to travel and helps me improve on my travel. So the further afield I'm getting now, the more wrestling bookings I'm getting, which is great, but also the more comfortable I'm getting being further away from my home. So places like, everything I do locally, or I say locally, within sort of like an hour and a half, these amazing places like Full Force, Wrestling in Hinckley. I've been at Elevation quite a few times, and they're all amazing. I'd love, and I want to keep working for all these amazing places, but I also want to get further afield, and I want to be busy, and I like being busy, and I want to wrestle all these incredible people. I could just keep going on about it because it's what all wrestlers want, but like, I just really want to do it. And then even if I only ever got to do it once, to wrestle in a different country, that'd be like cherry on top.
Oh, that'd be huge. I mean, you know what, dude? So I'm saying Ireland. Start with Wales, then Ireland, and then sort of go a bit further. Yeah, it all counts.
Building it up.
Yeah.
Build up bookings, build up the travel, build up annoying my partner because he has to come with me.
yeah. Just make sure, dude, start a collection. You know, get a fridge magnet from every country as it starts to build, or, you know, a snow globe or something. You know, something cool.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the goal. So
you just mentioned Hinkley. So it dinged in my head. My son's moving there in a couple of weeks, so I'll have to tell him to keep an eye out for. He normally comes to True Grit with me, so he's going to be checking out all the new promotions around that area.
The first steel cage show in September.
Oh, right. So, okay.
Yeah. I can't remember the date. I'm an awful person. I will know the date. The first steel cage show is September the 14th. It's the first time Hinckley has ever done steel cage. They do a ladder show every year, which happened a couple of weeks ago, and I fell through a ladder and it really hurt. And now they're getting a steel cage, so I'll probably do something stupid in that as well. So come and watch it, or watch it on their demand website, because let's be honest, I'm probably falling off a cage.
Dude. Right, well, I'm sure my son will be there in attendance then, just to either cheer or boo or go, ooh. So at least you kind of get some validation for, you know, for the pain. Adrenaline, though, it's great in it. I'm told. Again, I wouldn't know from this side.
It is until my partner comes backstage and threatens me and says, do that again. And then I do it again the following year. And then I go, oh, why do my arms hurt? Why does my hip hurt? And he just tells me to shut up and deal with
it. Dude, wrestling, it's again, everybody sort of said adrenaline's brilliant until the next day when you wake up and it's like, I
really enjoy a bit of hardcore wrestling, which doesn't help. So like, yeah, give me a couple of weapons. I quite enjoy it. So.
Dude, and obviously again, we mentioned Kumite earlier with Priscilla. I noticed the 14. It was called a 14-man meet fest or something, but I think it's a 14-person. Harley Harris was in there, Alfie was in there. I'm going to say his name just so he can message me and be like, "You said my name again, Mr. Radu Bulat." It was a whole list of awesome people.
Yeah, that was an interesting rumble because it was weapons are legal. Someone bought a tire. Someone bought some road signs, kendo sticks. Kumite is a lot of fun, but you definitely know you've been there the next day.
I thought I'd speaking to Alfie a few weeks ago, and she was on about she broke her arm during a match. And again, it's where the whole adrenaline thing comes in. She was like, "Oh, it felt all right during the match. I know, it was flapping around like a mad thing, but didn't really feel it." But then obviously, the adrenaline stops, and it's like, "Ow, ow, ow, ow."
Yeah, you see, I've been quite lucky injury-wise. I've had like a few scrapes and a few bangs. I had a bruise all the way like down my arm because I sort of hit a ladder but didn't hit a ladder. But like I've not broke anything, I've not torn anything, and I've done some silly shit now. Like I've done a death match. I've only done the one though. I would like to do more. I don't think my partner would be happy. Like I've done a few ladder matches. Like I think I've been very lucky. Admittedly, my style isn't very high risk, but even so, I think I've been incredibly lucky injury-wise.
Dude, it's the silliest thing sometimes that, you can hurt yourself doing. You hear so many stories about, somebody, Vince McMahon climbing into the ring, tearing both his quads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know someone that did their knees doing an up and over. Like it's that stuff that gets you. But yeah, I think everyone has knocks and bruises, but like overall, I've been really lucky with injuries. So, touch wood.
Yeah. Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. If you want to, obviously, we've talked at the start of the shows that I've got coming up. Do you want to plug your socials where people can keep an eye on you, see what shows you're on, give you a follow? Buy some merch, which we'll talk about when I stop recording.
So all my socials are Jason Joshua Pro or Jason Joshua on Facebook. I post all of my shows. I post a lot of reels. I annoy shit out of people that follow me. So feel free to follow me. Yeah, I'm trying to get my stuff out there. So follow me, share my stuff. Like it's always appreciated. And yeah, enjoy what I post.
Exactly, that's the thing. So I was going to say, that's again, you're using social media correctly. You're getting your stuff out there. You're showcasing what you can do. You're putting stuff on there. It always kind of blows my mind when people don't use it that much. It's like you've got this free advertising. Get your shit on there. Let people see how awesome you are. And good stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, you can find me on them. I try and keep everything up to date. I do talk about anxiety stuff. I do talk about sort of like pride and queer stuff. So like, yeah, try and keep it all sort of open and out there.
As it should be. Obviously, anybody who's got an issue with that, hopefully they're not watching this anyway. You're not welcome. Go away. So yeah, hit the man up. Obviously, I'll tag you in stuff when I upload this episode. Ash will tag you on Insta. He's our Insta guy. I don't do Insta. He does. He's amazing at it. So yeah, we'll tag you on that. Obviously, please give Joshua a follow. If you see him on a show, go to the show, go support it, go cheer, buy merch, buy tickets, tell him he's awesome. And, after watching this, do all the normal stuff as well. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, and do all the stuff that I tell you to do every week. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled. We've got some more awesome guests coming up. Just announced earlier, I've got Alton Thorne coming up soon. Just announced him. I'm sure you know the man very well.
I do. He is a teddy bear of a human. Oh no, I'm getting there. He is. He would do anything for anyone, but when that bell rings, nah, mate, I'm keeping my distance.
Scary, scary man.
Terrifying. Stinging nails. Mental.
Dude. So right, thank you for watching. Join us again soon, and we'll see you again very soon. Goodbye. Cheers.